So, is a robot going to take your job? I mean, that's the question, right? It's on everybody's mind. Well, today, we're going to cut through all the noise, get past the crazy headlines, and actually dig into the real numbers to figure out what this whole AI thing means for you and your career.
Okay, let's start with something that hits close to home. Just picture it. You're starting your day, you open your email, and there it is. The message that says a new system is taking over your work. This isn't some dystopian movie plot anymore. It's happening to people right now, and that's exactly where we're going to jump in.
All right, so how big of a deal is this, really? Let's stop guessing and look at the actual data, because it tells a pretty wild story about a shift that's already well underway. Get this, in 2025 alone, the tech industry laid off more than 1.17 million employees. And we're talking about giants here. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, these weren't companies struggling for cash. They were actively restructuring, all to lean into AI. It was a huge shock to the system.
And if you really want to grasp the scale of this, just look at this comparison. The layoffs in 2025, they were more than double what we saw from these same companies at the peak of the 2020 pandemic. I mean, think about that for a second. That's a massive, massive number.
And that's just looking back. If we look forward, the World Economic Forum is projecting that a whopping 92 million jobs could be displaced around the world by 2030. 92 million. It's almost hard to wrap your head around a number that big.
So yeah, it's no surprise that people are getting nervous. I mean, you can feel it, right? A recent Mercer survey found that the number of people worried about AI taking their jobs shot up from 28% to 40% in just 2 years. That's a huge spike in anxiety across the workforce.
But here's what's kind of crazy. Look at the types of jobs at risk. We're not just talking about assembly lines anymore. Nope, we're talking about office jobs, customer service, even finance and creative work. Financial analysts, writers, designers, this thing is hitting pretty much every sector, blue-collar and white-collar alike.
Okay, so those numbers are pretty scary, I get it. But if we stop there, we're only seeing half the picture. The real story is way more complicated, so let's peel back another layer, shall we?
Which brings us to a really important question. Is AI really the villain here? Or is it just the convenient scapegoat for companies that were gonna make cuts anyway?
You know, it's interesting, even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has hinted at this. He said some companies might be pointing the finger at AI, when really, they had other reasons for downsizing.
And believe it or not, the data seems to agree. A 2025 report found that less than 1%, let me say that again, less than 1% of layoffs that year were directly blamed on AI. So yeah, AI is part of the conversation, but it's definitely not the whole story. At least, not for now.
You know, this whole situation has a playbook. We've seen this movie before. If you look back at history, the Industrial Revolution gives us a perfect example. Textile workers were terrified that steam-powered looms would make them obsolete. And for some, that was true. But in the long run, that revolution created brand new industries and way more jobs than it ever got rid of, sparking incredible economic growth.
And it looks like that same pattern might be playing out right now. Remember that World Economic Forum report, the one that predicted 92 million jobs would be displaced? Well, here's the other side of that coin. The very same report projects AI will help create 170 million new jobs by 2030.
So, let's do some quick math here. You lose 92 million, you gain 170 million. That's a net increase of 78 million jobs worldwide. See, the real story isn't about a job apocalypse, it's about job transformation.
Okay, so what in the world are these new jobs? This is where things get really cool, because we're talking about careers that literally did not exist 5 years ago. And they're all about things humans are great at: creativity, strategy, that kind of stuff.
All right, let's look at one. The prompt engineer. This job is a direct product of the AI boom. Think of them as like a professional AI whisperer. Their whole job is to figure out the perfect way to talk to AI to get it to do amazing things.
And this field is just blowing up. The average salary is well into 6 figures. And get this, you often don't even need a computer science degree. What they're looking for are skills like good writing and sharp, logical thinking. It's no wonder LinkedIn just called it the #1 job on the rise.
And that's just one example. It's just the tip of the iceberg. We're seeing all these new careers pop up that need a uniquely human touch. You've got AI ethics engineers making sure these systems are fair, AI cybersecurity experts who have to stay one step ahead of AI attacks, even AI healthcare specialists who are using this tech to save lives. All these jobs are about human oversight, human empathy, and human judgment.
So, okay, we've looked at a ton of data. What does this all mean for you, for your career? Well, the big takeaway here is that we need to shift our thinking away from the fear of being replaced and toward the opportunity to adapt and evolve.
Look, we're entering a new era here. It's an era of collaboration. The future of work isn't going to be you versus the machine. It's going to be you with the machine. Let the AI handle the boring, repetitive stuff. That frees us up to do what we're actually good at, coming up with brilliant new ideas, thinking strategically, and, actually connecting with other human beings.
And that really brings us to the final point. Maybe, just maybe, we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. The question isn't, will AI take my job? The question we should all be asking is, how will I work with AI? And when you frame it like that, suddenly, it's not about fear anymore, is it? It's about opportunity.